So learning to write songs was a lot about learning to change the way that I listen to music. I think naturally people are visual learners, and whether or not that we are visual learners by default or we're just taught to be visual learners, because of that, music is not something that is instinctively easy to understand intellectually. Music is something that we understand emotionally. And before I started writing, listening to music was all about how does this make me feel. Now when I listen to music, it's what's happening technically that's making me feel this way. So, in some sense, here's a lesson on how to suck the magic out of music. So the first thing I did was I started learning how to play an instrument. I started on guitar. I'm going to show you on ukulele today because it's easier to hold in the frame. I started by looking up the chords for songs I wanted to play, mostly pop songs. I recommend starting with pop music because start with something easy. So the first thing you notice when you start learning a bunch of songs is that a lot of these songs have the same few chords. They take place in different keys, but if you were to transpose every song into the key of C, you're going to see and hear that it's the same few chords and it's the same few progressions. Something that's really helpful is that this website will have the option to transpose into keys. I basically play everything in the key of C with a capo. Again, not the best way to become an expert guitar player, but a good spot to begin if you're trying to learn how to comprehend music better. So I can learn the shapes C, G, A minor, F, and then play the song Not Over You in any key with the use of a capo. Now, even though I'm playing the shape of C, this is no longer a C because the capo is transposing it into E. So instead of calling this C, I'm going to call it 1. If C is 1, D is 2, E is 3, etc. And thinking of these chords as numbers instead of letters means you can hear the progression of the song without needing to know the key. So this is 1, 5, 4, 6. And then in this key, this is still 1, 5, 4, 6. So usually within pop music, these chords are all going to be major and these ones are all going to be minor. Not always. The 3 especially, which is an E in the key of C, can switch. So within a major scale, we have the root. It's home. There it is. We have the 4, which is I feel good. And maybe a little, not to gender chords, but I think of F as a female chord. So I guess what I'm thinking is I think of it as a pretty chord, and naturally only girls can be pretty. 5, which is like, I can't wait to get back to the 1. Right? Don't you just want to hear it go? Yeah, you do. I never play 7. I'm not even going to talk about it. Then on the minor side, we have 6, which is the sad version of 1. Right? Here's 1. Then 6. 2, which is like, I think of 2 as like, I'd never considered that. I don't know. It's kind of like reflective and melancholy. And 3, which is the saddest of all the sad chords. And then there's major 3, which is probably worth mentioning. I put that in a lot of my songs. I like it. So when you can start thinking of these chords in terms of feelings, you're able to listen to music and then know what those chords are based on your feelings. So if I play this, my youth is yours, tripping on skies, sipping waterfalls. My youth is yours, run away now and forevermore. We can think about, okay, what are those chords making me feel? We know this is the root. There it is. It's a happy chord, so it's major. Does it make me want to go back to the 1? It does, must be a 5. Then sad, obviously. Sad without being pensive or super sad. So it must be the 6. And then this, which is also, it's me, I'm going somewhere, but I'm pretty. 4. You don't have to use my feelings, by the way, to, like, for these chords. I don't know if I've ever really thought about them out loud, so maybe I'll watch this back and think, that's not even what I think of chords. But whatever you want to do, I know friends who think of colors when they think of the sounds. I would start listening to songs on the radio and think, okay, can I figure out what this song is without looking up the chords? Try and figure it out, then I'd look it up and be like, was I right? When I first started, I'd sometimes get 5 and 6 confused, which is a weird thing, but like whatever, you're a beginner. Give yourself some compassion. You'll get there. The beginning, I think, of writing songs is learning how to use a part of your brain that perhaps you haven't thought about before, which is the part that thinks through your ears, not through your eyes. So yeah, I mean, I learned through trial and error and exploration. Sounds so lame. But basically just figuring out what works for me. All that to say, if some of that is technically incorrect, sorry. But I think that's a good starting place. So, good luck.
Woof.
What if I'd broken into her room? No, I'm sorry. Let's not even go down that path.